Welcome to my tutorial on how to use Datastream. My name is Florian and I will show you now how to use Datastream that you have installed, for example, in the computer lab. So first of all, Datastream is a place where you can get data, for example, stock market data, or also data that normally is published in the annual report. So first of all, you start Excel. Make sure that Datastream is also working on this computer. Normally it is installed in the computer lab, and then you would go to new request table. You click here, so you have a ribbon here on the top of this Excel file, and then you would go to new request table. If you're not able to find that, then you need to take a computer obviously that has that installed. So first of all, here we have a normal Excel file with some buttons that we can use, and we try to use this in order to get the data. So normally here we would have a Y for yes, we want to update that field, and here, and that's normally what I use, is S for static requests, TS for time series requests. So that's basically what I'm going to use here in more detail. So that means normally I use time series requests. S for static would be normally the case when I would have, for example, an easy number and I want to know which kind of company that is. Select format. Here I will go for row titles, column titles and headings, but feel free to interact and try to find out what happens if you change your things. But that's basically what I use. Then find series, and here normally we can go and I cannot put it like this. I will make the file a little bit, the window a little bit larger here so you can see it. Here I already went into equities, and then I selected under the market here, I selected Sweden as a possible market. So that's how you can zoom in into certain extent towards those available data. What you can do here is, and this is very valuable when you start your request and you tutor, as for example I am, force you to use the Excel or all Swedish companies, then this is a very good start, because with this Excel that you can download here, you will get all the names of and the Datastream symbols of all the Swedish companies that have been listed and are available in this way. But for this little exercise that we have here, I will use oops, so now the Excel started to pop up. I will use all the available data that we have here for the largest ones, and I click here for this. So also what you find when you, for example, Google for example, you can go for H&M, you will find here more data like the memnyk. So that's basically the code that they have. So you have like two possible ways to find it. Sometimes if you're lucky, you also can identify it with the ISIN, but normally what I tend to use are those two guys here. So that's basically what you can see here. You can also see which kind of data are provided for this kind of stock. So that's kind of a valuable resource when you start to dig in a little bit into more details. So basically, but here in this case I just select those guys, and then we on use, and here you see the series. What you can also do is in another file define a list, and then you will go from with this one here, create a list from range. And as you can see here, when you click on the list manager, so you see I already figured out some, or I already had some requests myself that I use this list format, so you don't end up with a very long Excel file or a very long Excel cell here. So that's basically why you should use that. And then data types here, you can see I was interested in cost of debt in a research project, but you can also go here, for example, looking for a price, and here we have different types of prices. time series. Maybe here we find it. Normally I always use the one, and this one is not here yet. Oh, we are here under bonds and convertibles. That's a good thing to mention. That always happens to me, that I'm looking in the wrong category. So you need to make sure that you're in equities, and then yes, price is at the top. So I was a little bit worried why price is not one of the first hits. So that's actually basically a P for price. Also other very common ones are here on the top, like for example market value, dividend yield, and all the other things. If you're interested in the definition, just click here on the name and you get a very interesting definition of Datastream and how it's structured. So that's always a very good read for you to go into to get a little bit more information. But for now we use the price. And what I personally do, and this is how I can deal with data, for every data item I will have an own sheet, so it makes it easier later for me to integrate it into State or another statistic program or Excel, right? So the date we want to have from 10 years ago, so I do it like this, alright, and then the end date would be today. You can also, and here you have a bit better description, have day, month, and year, and then you will get the data here also. So I switch now over a little bit so we can see that better. And here you can say whether you want to have daily data, weekly data, monthly data, quarterly, and yearly. With prices, you have this kind of frequency available. With annual reports or like accounting data, if you're lucky, you have it on quarterly level, but most of the time, unfortunately, you only have it on yearly level. So, but then what I do is I simply push here on process table, and Datastream is getting the information from the web, and I'm lucky the status is okay. Here in sheet 1 I have as an example Hennes and Moritz, so H&M's prices at the end of the year, and all the other companies. And it's important, it's always in the same order as you have put it here. So for example, if you have an error somewhere, then you know, okay, this item did not work, and then you can go back and change it until you have all the data that you need. Normally what I do to have a little better overview, I go here and change it to price, because it's price data, right? And then I can adjust here, replace the sheet 1 with price. So I have a better overview on the data. And then if you want to add new stuff here, what I normally tend to do is I copy it like this, and then I will just change here the data type, and of course then the name. Yeah, Datastream tells me I'm disconnected. Yeah, that happens if you don't get a new type here. So basically we had price here, and here we are interested in, for example, dividend yield. Dividend yield at the moment, certainly an interesting topic. And then what I can do here is I can say no, I don't want to update the prices, but I want to update, of course, the new stuff, so the dividends as an example. So we process the table, it automatically generates a sheet 2 where we have the dividend yields for all the companies here, and we see, for example, H&M, the latest dividend yield is 3.8 or 3% and some 8 at the later decimal of yield, dividend yield. So that's quite a lot. Nordea Bank, for example, here we have 5.7%. That's kind of an interesting thing in case you want to do something with dividend yields. And that's basically it. Most importantly, you will not use more than those functions. But if you have questions, I think the internet or the extranet of Thomson Reuters is quite useful, and yeah, don't hesitate to contact those, because those are the pros, and I cannot really help you much further than this, because that's usually what I use to do. Good. So this was it. I hope you have a good start with getting the data from Datastream, and I wish you all the best for your research. Have a nice day.